year, millions of students start their preparation towards the coveted UPSC exams, but only a few of them can make to the merit list. Today with us, we have someone who is very happy to see his name in the list and who will be sharing his journey with us today. We welcome the show Ahmed Ashif, who has secured an All India rank of 460. Welcome to the show, Ahmed. How are you?
Oh, thank you, ma'am. It's an honor to be in this show, and I'm really happy now. As From the date of the results, I'm really happy that I have cleared it, and I've got 460th rank. Yeah, all of a sudden, too much phone calls and all. That's it.
Let's start with the journey. What inspired you to prepare for the civil services?
For me, I already had this plan in my mind. I actually pursued my BTech in civil engineering from NIT Calicut. So during that time itself, I had the plan that after my college, I'll try for civil services. I had the opportunity to work in a private firm. Then after that, I found out myself that that was not the field which I craved to be in. So I had to move on and do my passion and pursue civil services. So that's why I quit my job, and it was all of a sudden within a month span. Like I worked for 5-6 months. Then I got to know that this is not my field. So I suddenly quit it, and all of a sudden within a month I started preparing for civil services. So that I had from my family itself. My grandfather had this dream of making his son. So he couldn't do that. So my uncle asked me like, you'll prepare for this. What do you think? So I was like, I already had this in my mind that we have to contribute something better to the society. So the best thing was that to pursue for civil services so that we can study that, we can learn, and then we can be in the service. So we have that position to do something better, which can have a positive impact in the society. So that's why I turned my area into civil services.
All right. So let's start with your strategy and your preparations. All of a sudden, the students these days are very much confused whether they should prepare for prelims and mains simultaneously or that's a separate strategy altogether. So what's your take on that?
For me, I think that these are not two things which should be taken separately, because most of the topics are same only. You have to study for the prelims, and you have to apply that in the mains. So it's not that like you have to study prelims as a separate module, then mains as a separate module. In my opinion, you have to study prelims maybe more extensively, but then you have to at the same time while studying the topics for the prelims, you have to think that how we can apply that topics into the mains papers so that we can fetch good marks. So I think they are not at all separate, but they are like same thing only. It's just the way of presentation that matters. What we study is the same only. That's what I think.
All right. So coming up next, newspapers have their own space and their own importance while preparation. What would you advise to all the students? Should they make notes of newspapers, or it should be a read and maybe read some compilation at the end of the month? What's your take?
For me, I think newspapers are essential part of preparation, but to make notes of it every day, it might be tedious, and it depends on the person to person. If you are quick at it, if you can read and make notes within 1 hour or 1.5 hour span, it would be good, because newspapers have that analytical view of every topic that is concerned nowadays in current affairs. So I think it's better to have notes, but that depends on the person. If he takes like 4 hours or 5 hours to read and prepare the note, then he can't study anything else that day. So in my opinion, you have to read newspapers, but that is for getting the general view. Especially for example, when we go to personality test, the board will ask to all of us like about the perspective of what is happening in and around us. So we need to know that things. So newspaper is essential, but making notes and all, you can read compilations also. Then you can easily link. If you have already had read the newspaper once, then reading the compilation the next time, you can easily link to the topics you are reading, because you had already read that previously in the newspaper. So it helps. it complements each other. But making note is absolutely like I don't think that it's absolutely imperative, but it depends on the person. If he is easy with that, he can do it within a short span of time, it's good. Or else compilations can also do the job.
All right, let's move to the next. General studies, something that everyone sees as a big part of the mains and pre as well. What was your strategy while preparing for general studies?
For me, general studies, as I already said, I didn't had any strategy like for separately for mains or something like that. I used to study the prelims topics which were provided in the syllabus. Then I used to take some previous year questions and write them and show to my mentors like whether they are correct or not. And while I say that, it's not like I have done all the previous year questions, or it's not nothing like that in the absolute terms. I have done some of them just to get the idea of that. Then at the end of the day, you have to know like how we have to apply the topics we have studied for prelims or mains. There are certain subjects which are exclusively for mains. So whatever we have studied, we have to know like how we can apply it as in an answer format to the mains paper. So for GS, see, everyone will get an average amount of marks for GS mostly. The difference is not much that. The most of the difference comes in the optional. So we have to like aim for that average marks at least. And if you get, if luck is also in your part, you can go to the topmost marks. So that's it. My preparation was like applying how how to apply what I studied in prelims in the format of mains answers. So that's what I did.
Okay, so coming up to next is our essay section. Writing down the essays, some people focus more on the language, some on the flow. How did you prepare? Did you have something separately going on for essay, or was it a part of your GS studies itself?
No, for me, my language is not that good. It's an average only. Like it doesn't have much grammar mistakes or something like that. But then it is not that literary something, nothing like that. It was purely average. So I just used to concentrate on the fact that to apply what I studied for the GS subjects, like we have to mostly we have to like add some points to the essays which can add value to your content. So such points we have to take from the general studies for parts. Then the main thing is presenting it in a good manner, which while one reads your essay, you have to have that flow, like a proper introduction, a proper heading, then a proper introduction, then the perspectives should be kept in place, and then a good conclusion. So that once you read that essay, you should feel like, okay, it's fine. It has that flow. It's not breaking suddenly or something like that. So you have to, I don't think that you need to practice so much on essay, but with the content you study for the prelims, like for the GS, for mains as well as for prelims, that content you can apply in essay, and just you need that flow, a good flow, so that it becomes a good essay.
All right. Coming up next, GS paper 4, which has been talked a lot about. How did you prepare for GS4?
For as you said, GS4 is an entirely different paper. We have to apply certain things, mostly from real life examples, which can add more value to your answer. It is not like we have to study so much examples for each thing, or refer any books or something like that. I used to apply most of the real life examples to the ethics paper, so that even the invigilator who is correcting it, he should relate to the examples we are providing, so that it adds more value to the answer. So that was my key strategy for ethics. And ethics is not about writing too much content in answers. It's about presenting your perspectives in an orderly manner. That's what I can say about GS4.
Coming up next, your optional subject adds a lot of value to your final score. As you have read, you had Malayalam literature. How did you go ahead with the preparations, and what was your strategy?
So, for Malayalam literature, I had a really good mentor here in Kerala. So the teacher guided me really well, and my progress was really step by step. Even after the prelims results, I was not that good at writing answers at Malayalam optional. But then I had improved a lot during the course of that mains preparation time, and thanks to my teacher, it was really nice. And what I have to say is that you have to be thorough with the syllabus. and the topics, and most of the questions they come often from certain topics for optional. It depends on various optionals which option you are taking, but then there are certain questions which might not repeat exactly, but the crux of the question might be same. So such important aspects you have to mark and give more focus while you prepare for that. Then it's all about completing the paper and adding. There are certain like certain bits of answers which can add more value to your paper. So it's important to find such things, like adding certain examples, quoting certain lines. So such things are really important, so that with minimum effort you can add more value to the paper. So that has helped me a lot in optional preparation also.
All right. Coming up next, while preparing for UPSC, there is this problem of information overload. You have so many sources to prepare. Would you like to suggest some sources that you went through for your preparations or general studies?
For me, what you said is exactly true, because the most difficult thing that aspirants are facing right now is the information overload. If you search on internet, you will get lots and lots of information, and there is this thing of people getting deviated from what you need actually, and they'll search in internet for everything else, but they miss on what they require. So I think it's better to fix. It's not like there are certain genuine things which you should follow, but you have to fix certain things. Like if you are following certain material, then you should follow the same of that same coaching institute. That will be ideal, because they'll cover the syllabus completely. If you search for one coaching institute for certain things, then the other thing for another institute, then it becomes overlapped, and you'll be like in a world of this thing, and you won't get out of that. You'll be on the same topic revolving around. So I think it's better to fix in on a certain institute or a certain website for the whole thing. Then mostly we have to, like for current affairs and all, it's ideal to search and refer PIB and all, because they are government websites, so they'll give most authentic and most probable informations which might come for the exam. So I think that's a good thing.
All right. Up next, it's a long, arduous journey. Preparing for UPSC, it takes a lot of toll on you mentally as well as physically. So, what kept you motivated all this time?
Okay, in during my UPSC journey, this was the most important part, which to be honest, I discovered the importance of this thing only later, in the later stages of my preparation. But then the thing is that I had this attitude of like taking things lightly rather than too much, what you say, too much expectations on everything. So I didn't do that. So I think that has helped me a lot, because if you expect too much, then I think it might you'll get regretted for what, if you don't get the expected result, you might regret for it too much. So I think since UPSC is like a tedious journey, like you'll have to spend 1 year for preparation, then another year for the whole exam to complete. So it's like 2 years of your life for the first attempt itself. So it's too much tedious thing. So for being motivated, I think it's better to detach from the results and prepare with complete focus on studies. Then the results will come. That's what I understood.
All right. Coming up next, the current affairs, as you suggested, PIB and other websites. Now coming up to the free ones again, prelims. What's your take? Should the mock test start in the beginning of the journey, or should one focus on giving the mock test at the end, like 2 months or 3 months before the prelims? What is your take on that?
For me, I think it's not ideal to start the mock test in the beginning itself, because see, as a beginner, if you have to attend mock test, at least you should know some certain contents, the basic subjects which are required as per prescribed by the syllabus. So it's imperative that you have to study all these subjects. It's not that you have to study it thoroughly and everything, but you need to know a basic knowledge to attend certain questions. So the basic subjects is the key. Current affairs and all, they add more values, but the basic subjects you have to be thorough with. So I think it's ideal to start in, to be honest, in the midway of your preparation, it will be ideal. Like after studying the basic subjects, then you can start attempting mock tests and all. So only then it adds value. Otherwise, you will just simply attend the mock test, but it might not add much value to your content or your knowledge. So I think that's the best thing to be. I started like that only. Like I started preparation in 2018 May. Then I started my mock test around October or November. So from, till that time, I used to study the basic subjects, and so that and you have to revise also. So that takes some time. Only after that, it's ideal to start the mock.
All right. Regarding the answer writing, a lot of people focus that the answer writing should go in tandem with your profession. How soon do you think should answer writing begin in the journey of your profession?
As I said, like just now, it is the same as that of taking mock test. You have to have that content. So, but the difference is that for mock test, at least you have to cover the syllabus at least to an extent. For mains answer writing, I think if you cover a certain topic, then you can take the previous year questions from that topic and cover it. It's not imperative that you study the whole thing and then you write answers. It's not like that. I think if you study a certain topic from polity or history, for example, then I think you can take any previous year questions from that topic and just write some sample answers and ask opinions from your mentors or somebody who knows how to write answers. So it will be good. I think that should be a nice strategy and should be followed.
All right. So next, a lot of students are misguided or they are under a lot of peer pressure because of their friends, what they are saying, what they are doing. How important do you think is guidance during this entire journey?
As far as I am concerned, I think that guidance is extremely important. To be honest, it is the most important thing. If otherwise, if you start from the scratch, you might get misled and you might end up being something else, and you might be deviated from the whole thing. So guidance is absolutely important, and only a good guidance can lead you to the right path. If a coaching institute can provide a good guidance, you should. And if your own economic condition also provides, so then you should. Otherwise, I think anything can offer, but at least you need some good guidance, because as you already mentioned, there are a lot of information overload and from the internet, and also you might get misled by those sources and maybe lose track of all these things.
Okay. Now coming up to the last part, I am sure as soon as the main list is out and you see your name, you're very excited. Then starts the preparation for your interview. How did you prepare for your interview?
For me, interview preparation was entirely different from what we used to have during our prelims or mains. It was not about much reading of books or something like that. It was more about discussions, and like we had this friends group who had qualified for interview, and so we used to discuss the major topics which were happening in and around us, and what were our take, because mostly in interviews the panel asks about the individual perspectives on different things occurring around you. So I think we have to make our own. You can't learn from anything, just you have to, like, it's like a friendly talk. So you have to have your own opinion about various matters happening in and around you. So my preparation was like completely into peer discussions and attending some mock interviews and like sessions held by experts, and also that you'll get more views on different things occurring around you.
All right. Coming up to busting some myths about the profession. A lot of people say that you have to study X hours a day or maybe so many weeks and you have to plan. How did you plan your journey?
Even I was also into the preparation by hearing all these myths, and then you'll start to develop certain apprehension that, oh, can I do this or something like that. So that happens. But then you have to have faith in yourselves and see, these myths are always there, like studying 15 hours, 18 hours. And I don't think that it's humanly possible to have the same kind of concentration for all 18 hours a day. So that might not work. So it's all about individuals. Everyone has their own strategy. Everyone can learn according to their own capacity. Some might learn it in 4 hours. Some might learn it in 3 hours. Some might take 8 hours. So it depends. So you have to plan the portions that have to be covered during your preparation according to your capacity. That's what I did. I used to. The most imperative thing is that you have to have a plan, because otherwise you'll be like lost in an ocean or something like that, because you have a vast amount of syllabus to cover and you have limited amount of time. So you have to the most important thing is revision. So I have to mention that also. Revision is the most important thing. So as many times you cover your syllabus, it is more good for you, for your final result, for your preparation, for your confidence level, to be honest. For your confidence just before attending exam, if you have revised it for 5 times or 10 times, so that adds to your confidence. So confidence is key for giving a good try, be it in prelims, be it in mains, or be it in personality test.
So next, what advice would you like to give to all the aspirants who have started their journey?
Okay, my advice is that this is not something which is unassailable. This exam, the only thing is that you have to be motivated. You have to, and when I say that you have to be motivated, it doesn't mean that you have to be motivated 365 days, 24/7. It's not like that. We are all humans, so that doesn't work. So as long as you as soon as you get demotivated, you should regroup in the fastest manner, and you should be motivated. You should have to have a goal. You should have a perfect plan, and you should work for it. It's not like you won't get it. Or the syllabus of this exam is absolutely it's a simple one as far as everyone is concerned, because it is only up to the level of +2 syllabus, like the school syllabus only. Only you have the optional subject as the degree level. So I think that it is not an unassailable task, but it is everyone is capable of doing this. But just is that you have to have that mental strength. You have to be motivated to survive the whole cycle of this exam. So that's what the advice that I will give to everyone.
All right. The last one, it's a very hypothetical question, but since you have been through this entire journey, if you were to talk to Ahmed who was just beginning his journey, what would be that one advice you will give to yourself to make it smoother?
That's a tricky question. Maybe to have started certain things early, because I have done certain preparations very late into my my preparation time, during my preparation phase. So I would have started that a little bit early. For example, my optional subjects and all. So maybe I should have given myself an advice that I should have been prepared or had a plan a little bit more early, so that it wouldn't have been so tight at the end.
All right. Thank you so much, Ahmed, for your time. It was amazing talking to you about this entire journey, and all the very best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk with you. It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot.